It's the time of year when everyone has had too much Christmas cheer. Temperatures drop and the rot sets in. In honour of my co-host Frank not being able to record with me this weekend, I dedicate this, the top moments of sickness in movies, to him and his family. Let's ease ourselves into this with some gentle moments of sickness to wet the palate. But be warned, folks, things will go progressively off the rails. 1993's Jurassic Park sees Dr. Grant, Lex, and Timmy have an encounter with a slightly runny-nosed Brachiosaurus. What starts as an innocent caress of the dinosaur's hooter ends up with Ellie smothered in a plethora of chunky fluorescent dino DNA. Who can forget 1982's E.T. and the moment the alien is left alone overnight whilst trying to communicate with his alien parents? One of the most heartbreaking scenes of the 1980s saw E.T. succumb to his exposure and pass away in front of Elliot's eyes. Paul Feig's shock com Bridesmaids has one of the most hilariously gross out scenes of illness in the last 20 years.
Oh my God.
In an effort to upstage Arrival, Annie, played by Kristen Wiig, chooses a Brazilian restaurant, and it's not too long before the entire tribe of bachelorettes are expelling all manner of bodily fluids in the movie's most memorable scene. Frank and Freddy of the You Need a Medical Supply station unleash a deadly toxin in the Return of the Living Dead, which slowly starts to kill them whilst mysteriously keeping them alive. They even encounter stages of rigor mortis as both of them slowly decline into the world of the undead. In The Fly, Jeff Goldblum's tissue starts to slowly die as he begins to metamorphosize into an insect-human hybrid. Things get progressively worse as nails, ears, and eventually his own appendage drops off and is stored in a bathroom cabinet. In Eli Roth's Cabin Fever, a group of teens rent a cabin in the woods and encounter a man contaminated with a weird disease who asks them for help. The group panic and burn the man, who falls into the local reservoir and dies. The whole group except Karen makes a pact to drink only beer the rest of the week without knowing where the dead body is. When Karen drinks tap water and gets the disease, the group begins their journey to hell. Starry Eyes is a hidden gem from 2014. An aspiring actress has oral sex with a sleazy and mysterious movie producer. He tells her that if she wants to be famous, she needs to die and be reborn. When Sarah returns home, she finds that her body is deteriorating and she needs to murder her friends to complete her transformation. A recent foray into extreme sickness, the Devil's Sickness, comes in the form of when evil lurks. An inhabitant of a small, isolated village, Uriel, has become sick due to the possession of an unborn demon. As his body rots before our very eyes, two brothers decide to dispose of Uriel whilst blissfully unaware of the sheer horror that this will inflict on the area and its locals. In 28 Days Later, a group of animal rights activists break into a lab and release monkeys from their cages to rescue them despite warnings from a scientist that the monkeys are contagious. As a result of their actions, the virus the monkeys were harboring spreads rapidly across Great Britain and infects numerous people. Jim, who fell into a coma following a bicycle accident shortly before the virus was released, emerges from his coma and finds that London is deserted. After a year of combating a pandemic with relatively benign symptoms, the sadness follows a frustrated nation that finally lets its guard down. This is when the virus spontaneously mutates, giving rise to a mind-altering plague. The streets erupt into violence and depravity as those infected are driven to enact the most cruel and ghastly things they can think of. Murder, torture, rape and mutilation are only the beginning. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Frank and I should be back in the next few days, but in the meantime, stick to the roads and the best of luck. It sounds weird saying that by myself.